Mr. Bradley had waited for 19 years to solve the mystery of who his father was, and he had come to court seeking a DNA test to determine the truth. Mr. Tessner, who had been named in the case, was 100% sure that he was not Bradley's father. He claimed that another man was on the birth certificate and had paid child support. He also argued that the dates of conception did not add up. Mr. Bradley was asking the court to award him 50% of clerical fees and to change his last name to Tessner if the DNA test proved that Mr. Tessner was his biological father. Mr. Bradley explained to the court how tough it was growing up without a father. He missed out on many activities, such as going to football games and camping trips, that other kids took for granted. He felt a void in his life and longed to have a father of his own to spend time with. He had been told by his aunt that James Tessner was his father, but he did not meet him until he was 13 and then again when he was 18. Mr. Tessner, on the other hand, only dated Bradley's mother for a month and could not remember having sleeping with her. He had never known that she was pregnant, and he was not contacted when the baby was born. He only learned about Bradley when he was brought to his house, and he did not believe that he was the father. Miss Bradley confirmed that she thought she had told Mr. Tessner about the pregnancy, but she was not sure. During the court proceedings, Mr. Bradley became angry when he learned that nobody should have been put on his birth certificate until a paternity test was done. He also wanted to see Mr. Tessner go to jail for child support, which made Mr. Tessner accuse Miss Bradley of lying. The judge questioned Mr. Bradley about the birth certificate, and he explained that the name was printed on it but not signed. He also mentioned that he had watched the man who signed it sign other papers, so he knew how to sign his name. Mr. Tessner interjected, claiming that the man who signed the birth certificate did so by court order. He also mentioned that the man had taken a paternity test before paying child support, which confirmed that he was the father. Mr. Tessner believed that Miss Bradley changed the identity of his father to whoever was doing better at the time. Miss Bradley admitted that she provided the court with the name of her boyfriend at the time, believing he was the biological father. She had noticed changes in her son's facial features, making him look more and more like Mr. Tessner. Mr. Tessner argued that he was in the military at the time and paying child support for his other children, so he couldn't have been Mr. Bradley's father. He believed that Miss Bradley was lying and changing the father's identity to whoever was doing better. The argument continued, with Mr. Bradley thanking Mr. Tessner for his support, and Mr. Tessner expressing his anger at potentially missing out on a lot if he was Mr. Bradley's father. The judge listened carefully to both sides. He then told Mr. Tessner in a car when he was 18 years old that he was not his son. He told Mr. Tessner that he had met James and that he told him how much they looked alike and acted alike. Judge Lauren Lake asks Mr. Tessner if he ever had any doubts that Mr. Bradley was his biological son. Mr. Tessner says that he believes a DNA test was already done, but he does not see any resemblance between himself and Mr. Bradley. Mr. Tessner says that the man is darker than him and has straight hair, while he has curly hair. Mr. Tessner says that he helped Mr. Bradley get a house, even though he has doubts about being his biological father. He says that he helped him because he needed a place to live and had kids. Mr. Bradley confirms that Mr. Tessner helped him get the house. Miss Bradley says that she remembers having surgery but does not remember having sleeping with Mr. Tessner. Judge Lauren Lake notes that neither Mr. Tessner nor Miss Bradley seem to be processing what Mr. Bradley went through as a child. Bradley says that he wants the DNA test results so that he can move on with his life. He says that he has no doubt that Mr. Tessner is his father. Tessner says that he is not his father, and he would be there more if he knew he was. Miss Bradley admits that she slept with more than one man during the window of conception and did not know who Mr. Bradley's biological father was. Judge Lauren Lake notes that the truth is that Miss Bradley did not know who the biological father was. Mr. Tessner was called to testify. He explained to the judge that he had asked Miss Bradley to split the price of DNA testing, and he was standing right beside her when he made the request. He got the phone from her and asked if they wanted the DNA test done. The judge questioned Miss Bradley and asked her if she had noticed any change in her son's features. She confirmed that she had, and she had gone to court and had the child support stopped. She told Mr. Tessner that he was not raised by many people and questioned why somebody else had been paying for her son. Mr. Tessner was confused as to why someone else would be paying if he was the biological father. The judge explained that the court had ordered him to pay child support, and he had to pay, or he would have gone to jail. Mr. Bradley was upset about the whole situation and was angry that he had missed out on getting to know his great-grandparents. The judge then announced that the DNA results were ready, and the audience erupted into applause. The results revealed that Mr. Tessner was, in fact, Mr. Bradley's biological father. Mr. Bradley was not surprised and had already known the truth. He requested clerical fees, and the judge suggested that Mr. Tessner help him out. Mr. Tessner agreed and said that they could get it done. Finally, Mr. Bradley had his answer and could move forward with his life, knowing who his biological father was.